Heaven is traditionally conceived either as a place subject to the same laws of space and time that govern our earthly existence, or a kind of vague, ethereal, angelic existence. However, the teachings for spiritual Christianity drawn from the works of Emanuel Swedenborg offers a radically different perspective. It is a view in which heaven is not a fixed, extraneous location, nor some insubstantial, dream-like abode for the departed, but a state of existence intricately connected to the souls of angels. In spiritual Christianity, angels are not mystical beings inherently different from humans, but are the spirits of those who once lived on earth. This belief emphasizes the continuity of human existence beyond physical death. These spirits, having passed from the earthly life, retain their faculties and characteristics. Just as they were objective beings with sensory perceptions when living in the natural world, they continue to possess these faculties upon transition into the spiritual world. This notion redefines angels as familiar beings, echoing the qualities and experiences of all human beings, rather than embodying an entirely different form of existence. The concept of heaven in spiritual Christianity cannot be grasped from ideas that carry a conventional understanding of space and time. Angels as spiritual beings are not subject to space and time, so do not inhabit a specific portion of material space. Unlike physical beings, they exist beyond the constraints of our spatial dimensions. This idea challenges the materialistic view that equates existence with occupancy in a physical location. In this spiritual framework, existence is not limited to or dependent on a fixed spatial context. Instead, it transcends the material space we are accustomed to, suggesting that spiritual existence operates on a different plane altogether. A significant challenge arises when reconciling the belief that heaven is not in a spatial location with the idea that it is adorned with sensory objects akin to the natural world. This paradox appears to contradict our natural belief that existence necessitates a physical place. However, the resolution lies in understanding the nature of spiritual space and time. In the spiritual or mental world, space and time manifest as appearances that represent mental states of life. Distances or spaces to states of affection, and time to the progressive development of thought. So while angels have the sensory experience of space and time, their focus is drawn to what is represented by them, so far as the quality of their affections and thoughts is concerned. In spiritual terms, the objects and experiences of heaven, although similar to those of the natural world, are not bound by physical space. The adornments of heaven, its beauty, sensations and experiences are perceived in a way that transcends any earthly spatial ideas of such things. Thus, while heaven is depicted with sensory richness, this depiction does not imply a spatial locality, but rather reflects the spiritual or mental reality of divine love and wisdom perceived by angels. The world of angels is a realm where sensory experiences are not confined to physical dimensions, but are expressions of an interior spiritual state of mind. The apparent contradiction between the non-spatial nature of heaven and its sensory richness, complete with all the objects found on earth, is rooted in our mistaken impressions about space and time. We tend to perceive space and time as fixed and independent entities existing extraneously to our minds. This perception leads to the belief that any form of existence, including that of heaven, must conform to these dimensions. Spiritual Christianity teaches that space and time as we perceive them do not exist independently of the human mind, but are generated through it. In the spiritual realm, space and time are not constraints, but are more fluid and integrally connected to the changes in the mental states of angels and spirits. This has the remarkable effect of spontaneous transformations taking place in the perceptions of angels and spirits as the objects and environments change to reflect any changes in their states of mind. The spatial and temporal limitations that govern the material world simply do not apply to the mental or spiritual world. The teachings of spiritual Christianity offer a profound reimagining of heaven. It is not a distant external realm, but an interior state of existence intimately linked to the mental states of the spirits of those who have lived in the natural world. This perspective challenges conventional notions of heaven as a place subject to the apparent fixed laws of space and time that are experienced in the natural world. In this view, heaven, with its sensory richness, is a spiritual or mental realm where the essence of existence is not bound by material constraints, but is instead a manifestation of a higher, more integrated spiritual state. This state of human existence beyond physical death is a continuation of a life that is fully human in every sense for the departed spirit, despite the absence of the spaces and times of natural existence.